Hello, beautiful people. I am a homeschooling mom of 7, a wife of almost 15 years, and I am bringing you guys along today as we have a casual day at home, a much needed break from the normal schedule. But as a mom of 7, like I mentioned, I am all about schedules and keeping our family in household and productivity mindset. Getting ready this morning. Usually I try to wake up before the kids, but as you can see, it's a wonderful, slow pace together. It's style of day. And I'm just doing my face this morning while my sweet little brushes her teeth. Everyone else is slowly getting out of bed, making their beds, checking their rooms, and getting ready to come downstairs for breakfast. I thankfully had the foresight to make breakfast the night before. We're doing family style overnight oats. If you haven't had family style overnight oats, let me just say it is so much easier than preparing each individual cup of overnight oats. I know it's way cuter to have little parfait looking bowls for each kid or each member of the family, but there's 9 of us and simplicity and function wins out over cuteness, sadly. But this is my recipe. It's 4 cups of oats, 4 cups of milk. You can use any kind of milk. I tend to use cow milk, but we have goat milk as well. Some people like oat milk or coconut milk. It just changes the flavor a little bit, but still delicious. 2 cups of yogurt. Again, our go-to is Greek yogurt, and we've used goat yogurt before, and it was delicious. 1/2 cup of maple syrup, 1/2 cup of chia seeds, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Mix it together and put it in the fridge. You'll see in a minute us pulling it out. I'm doing a quick cleanup of my room this morning. You can kind of see that it has gotten quite a bit messy lately with Christmas in a few days, trying to sleep train a little 4-month-old. As you can see, I have 2 different sleeping arrangements in my room. We're trying to transition him from an elevated state to flat. And just yesterday, we went through our closet and got rid of like half of my husband's clothes that he either does not wear, does not fit, or it is completely destroyed. All right, I have a confession. I am not cute. I am not stylish. My home is peaceful, functional, and a happy place. But if someone could just tell me how to get a cute, stylized bedspread to stay made, to stay looking nice while our whole family enjoys it, I am all ears. So I am making the bed here. We live in southeast Idaho, so it is rather chilly in the winter. I could not live without my electric blanket. I am the type of mom that loves my children immensely and wants to teach them how to be participants in this house. So as you can see, as they are hanging out with me in the morning as I'm getting myself ready, I am involving them in what I am doing as well. By moving things, by helping me talk about the day, seeing how they slept that night. It is quite a connection moment on our slow pace mornings. On our regular mornings, they're already up doing their own thing, and we are moving to productivity for school. But as I have expressed before, it's just a fun, casual winter day, and we are prepping to leave the room and to go get everybody else on board. I heard someone once encourage moms with the 3 R's in the morning to reset, so to pick one room to reset And that is what I'm doing here in this room, to read the Word, God's Word, right? And to ready yourself, to get yourself ready for the day. I'll be having another YouTube video coming out shortly about those 3 R's and how I work them into our regular schedule. Our dog Annie is new to us. She has been around for about a month. She is adopted. We call her Orphan Annie sometimes as a joke. A friend another homeschool family is moving to Scotland and are not able to keep sweet Annie. So we have now adopted a dog. My oldest son is so thrilled. Oh, here are those bags that I mentioned that we are emptying out of my husband's closet. I would love to be more of a minimalist. I don't know if that's you as well, but small baby steps. And January being right around the corner, there's so many people out there talking about ways to just take and look at one section of your home each day and to declutter it. On a completely random note, can I give a shout out to my husband who cut like 6 inches of my hair off yesterday? I was just getting so annoyed with all of the dead ends, and he just chop, chop, chop. Thank you so much, hubby. All right, we're headed to the kitchen. I'm starting a couple new habits. I will again talk about it in the Readying Yourself. Some health habits, actually. Yes, I have been influenced by influencers here on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. They have been talking a lot about minerals lately. And I have bought this Baja Gold mineral sea salt. No, it is not an affiliate. I am not attached to them at all, except for I have been reading that they have 91 trace minerals in the sea salt. So I'm mixing that with just a little cup of water this morning. And I'm going to drink it to try to rejuvenate my body. Since having baby Samuel, it was quite a traumatic birth, having my uterus rupture, and I'm just trying to focus on some health, getting myself and my body back together so that, Lord willing, we'll be able to think about having more children. Our little Gwenny Lulu here is my assistant in the morning. We are prepping the toppings for our overnight oats. The great thing about family style overnight oats is that it just makes the base. And then once you have the base, you can put any toppings that you want on top. So today's toppings are sliced bananas, apples, and peanut butter. And then my kids convinced me to put berries out as well. Here I am, as always, teaching and rebuking for behaviors that are unsafe. We try to not shy away from showing our children about safety measures such as sharp objects like this knife, even though it is actually extremely dull and I need to sharpen it. And finding ways to teach them how to be safe around these things. I am having my daughters be with me in the kitchen as much as possible in the morning while my sons work with my husband to get a few of the farm chores done. And then later in the day, we switch. And then my daughters will work alongside my husband for a few things and my sons around me. The thing I've realized as I've had now more and more kids, 7 currently, is that I want them all to be adept and well proficient in the kitchen. However, I simply do not have the capacity to have all 7 with me and working simultaneously at the same time. This may be my own fault or my own weakness, but in order that I can give the attention needed, the direction, and have opportunities for each to play a crucial role in the kitchen, I have to break it up. During the school year, since I have 5 olders and 2 youngers, I have each of the older kids, the elementary age kids, take a day of the week. So one will have Monday morning, another Tuesday morning, another Wednesday morning. And this really helps me just be able to focus on one kiddo while everyone else is getting other morning jobs done for the day. So the breakfast making becomes the chore or the responsibility of that child in that morning. Fear not, I do the same thing for lunch and then for dinner. So everyone gets a chance to be in the kitchen, learning these lifelong skills, helping to prepare the menu or different choices for the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then also our whole family participates in the cleanup. We call it after meal jobs, which you'll see today on our day in the life of a casual, non-schooling morning. I have to admit, especially as we have now been schooling for 7 years, that school days actually are easier. They really provide the structure and schedule that our family so thrives in, and we are so much more productive. However, rest and rejuvenation is always on the menu. It is always important to fit those into our days. We like to celebrate that as a family for Sabbath, but sometimes, like today, a few days before Christmas, it's appropriate to just have a low-key, casual morning. In addition, our kids had a little bit of a runny nose this last week, and so some sleeping in can really help their bodies to get what they need to continue on in the day. And I should mention that my sweet 4-month-old is going through a little bit of a sleep regression. So I equally coveted that few hours of extra sleep this morning versus when I would have normally gotten up. We do some unique things in our family when it comes to meals. One is not every meal of every day is a sit down at the table, pass the food between us meal. Sometimes we do buffet style at the island and then join together at the table to eat. I do try at least once a day to make sure that we all get to the table and practice skills like passing food, waiting for one another to all be served before we eat, and having the opportunity to ask for seconds, passing again to one another. Does anyone else feel like sometimes breakfast can be monotonous? The same meal or the same menu week after week? Well, I have to tell you that overnight oats has definitely become a staple in our home. I think it has become a staple because of the opportunity to have different toppings on top. Makes it feel not the same every day or every week. I also appreciate that it's a healthier option than some of the go-to other breakfast choices that we have in our home. We do a lot of pancakes, eggs, and bacon, or sausage. We also love ourselves some Dutch babies, some crepes, French toast, oatmeal, just plain, not overnight. But it is very carb heavy, some of these breakfasts. So to have something like overnight oats is so, wonderful. Just a change up, something different that we get to have. Other simple breakfasts such as yogurt and granola or cottage cheese and peaches also are available to our menu to have us not be so carb heavy. I view it as such a blessing and a treasure to be able to pray with my kids every morning at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It is a joy to be able to commune with God together. At the breakfast table, we make sure that we cover a few things every day. First, that we review what our each person's after meal jobs. We keep the same after meal jobs for 7 days, 1 whole week, but sometimes just a reminder is needed, a little evaluation from the day before, and anything that is my expectations for this day. We write these jobs down on a white erase board, as you can see on the middle of the table, and that's because we do change them weekly. Next up, we talk about our outdoor chores. These chores are done usually just once a day, but we do switch those also once a week. Our outdoor chores change throughout the year, and so we don't have a consistent chore chart for them. Some of the chores this week include snow shoveling, although it seemed as if all of the kids love to do that, so we give them all a chance. We also have cats, our own cats and stray cats that we feed and give water to, making sure the water doesn't freeze since it's awfully cold here in southeast Idaho. We currently have 2 dogs, 1 inside dog and 1 livestock dog, and we have about 50 chickens and 15 ducks. We do have 3 goats. However, they're at the goat farmers this month to be bred so that we can have baby goats. So you'll have to follow along to see those adorable things. And then we have just butchered our 3 pigs, so they are no longer at the farm anymore. And then in the summers, we do meat birds, which we raise about 200 this last year, 250. This next year, my husband's goal is for 400 meat birds. So we'll see how that goes. But it is quite a lively bunch of animals, and having all of our kids and family on deck to be able to help them throughout the year gives us the opportunity to do all the things that we do. We are so grateful to our family. After each meal, as I mentioned, everybody has a job. This really keeps the house organized and moving forward, especially with so many people living in it and operating in it each day. I have 2 children on dishes duty. 1 child helps clean up the island. Another child helps sweep the floor, wipe the table and chairs, and then the last child switches the load of laundry. The laundry is a new chore that we've added this year, and it has been so helpful to us keeping up on laundry. Usually on school days, I'll let the kids clean and I'll head up and gather everything and get it ready for our school day upstairs in our homeschool room. However, since today is a non-school day and we are spending the time just relaxing as a family, yet being productive, the kids have requested that I will read out of our family read aloud. The Green Ember is the current book, and we're going to get about a chapter or 2 in, hopefully, as the kids clean up and do their chores. I confess that read alouds are so enjoyable as a family. It gives us things to talk about, to ask questions about, to ponder and discuss as a family. Yet, I also will confess that as I do read alouds during times of chores, after meal jobs, folding laundry parties, you name it, the distraction level is much higher. You'll find that my kids will slow down what they're doing just to listen to an intense part. I also notice that as I do read alouds during times like chores, there are lots of questions about the chore itself or the job itself, and that can be distracting to our story reading. But alas, it's always fun to get multiple things done at the same time. In our family, we like to have an atmosphere of all hands on deck, pitching in. Even our 2-year-old, who, let's be honest, isn't very productive, is very good at supporting and walking alongside her brothers and sisters to try to do different jobs, or at least to learn about them. I hope that as watching my kids do different things, it gives you encouragement. I hope that it gives you an opportunity to evaluate what you're doing. I am so grateful to so many other Titus 2 moms who have gone before me, who have shown me both in encouragement and an example, different opportunities for me to reevaluate how I do things in my home. I am so grateful for this team, as I hope you've heard me mention. We all work together, and because of that, we are able to get so much more done than we could or do by ourselves. I take the opportunity to tell my kids this too, to validate and show them what a privilege it is to live in a large family where we're able to be successful, to do hard things, and to accomplish large tasks because we have such a large family. With large families, we do make big messes. Things just multiply quickly with all of the activities, crafts, coats, shoes, you name it that we have. But I love that we can just set a timer for 2 minutes, and when we do an all hands on deck activity of cleaning, it just gets cleaned up so quickly. That is another benefit of a large family. Yes, we make big messes, but we're quick to clean because more hands make light work. And I am so grateful that these kids have been trained and remember and are diligent workers when it comes to cleaning up, because it allows us to do so much more as a family. I've learned something about myself in my own motherhood, that I do better when things aren't so messy. That doesn't mean that things have to be immaculately clean or free of any dust in my house, but it does mean that I do better if I can look around the room and not see clutter lying around. Jackets, shoes, games, you name it. I do need them to be put away so that my brain can be clutter-free as well and do better in instructing, training, teaching, and disciplining. I do find that our house, we do several cleanups a day. And like I said, when they're only like 2 minutes each, it doesn't make a huge difference in our time, but definitely a big difference in our mindset. It is quite snowy, quite beautiful, but definitely a little chilly outside. So we have a wood-burning fireplace that heats our entire house. Yes, we do have natural gas heater, but we just find that we can use just our fireplace, and that is what works well for us. We are getting ready to do our outside chores. Jonah headed out for the chickens. Someone else is on Annie duty. Someone else is on our livestock dog duty. And everyone is teaming up to work on snow plow removal. We have an ATV that we use for the road to clean off the snow. You can see Noah here, our 9-year-old. He's almost 10 next month, is in charge of making sure it's clear. Now, this is important for several reasons, but really important because my husband is working at the hospital today and will be coming home shortly, and we want to make sure it's all ready and nice for him. We have big flakes right now, but the snow is supposed to subside soon, so we're just trying to get ahead of it and ready for the rest of the day. Gwenny girl here likes watching her big brothers and sisters do the work. They're such hard workers, and we like to reward hard workers. So we're having chocolate milk and cookies. Some sweet friends brought us some sugar cookies that we'll enjoy. A few of my sons prefer to have molasses milk instead of hot chocolate. Jonah is giving Gwendolyn a sweet book read while we're waiting for the rest of the kids to finish their last jobs in the snow removal. I fear they have a little bit too much fun out there and get distracted in the snow, but alas, that is okay. All right, everyone's back inside ready for our snacky snack. This is such a special treat, and we do like to enjoy it when we have done hard work outside. Our milk is so super special and delicious because down the road from where we live, there is a dairy that sells raw cow's milk, and we can get our milk picked up from them, we get about... One thing I do find for our family is that we spend a lot of time at this table. It is quite an opportunity to be together as a whole family, to have conversations, to do check-ins, and we also do our Bible lessons here on non-school days, where we talk about different things that the Lord has been doing in our lives, what we're reading in Scripture, maybe preparing for a lesson like BSF or our inductive Bible study on Wednesday night. There is a lot that takes place at this table, and I am so grateful for it. After our time at the table, we are headed up to quiet time. Our little 2-year-old here needs to take some rest, maybe a nap, and the rest of the family, because today is Monday and we had such a wonderful, busy Saturday and Sunday celebrating the Sabbath and being together as a family and doing activities, our rooms got a little away from us. So we're going to spend some time cleaning up our rooms while we are listening to a read aloud. Each kid in their room has a CD player, and we have a plethora of different books on CD. So as they listen to the CD, whatever story of their choice, they're going to spend time catching up on their room, as today is Monday and Christmas is on Wednesday, which means Christmas Eve is tomorrow, and we want to have our house and hearts ready to celebrate the birth of Christ. So as the boys work on their room and listen to their story, I am headed downstairs with our littlest one, Samuel, and I am going to work myself on finishing folding some laundry and putting it away. Usually during quiet time, I like to spend some time reading, resting my body and my thoughts, but alas, I also have a few things to get done today before our celebration on Tuesday and Wednesday. As with any holiday, it is not without work. It is not without cleaning. It is not without opportunities to be a diligent worker, but it does come with a little bit of a different schedule, a little different rest, rejuvenation, and family time. So we want to be equipped and ready for that. I used to just dread the laundry. It has been such a thorn in my side for so many years. And finally, I heard from another Titus 2 mama that has a large family of actually 11 kids, that what she implemented was she would have, as part of their after meal jobs, one kid would be on laundry duty. And the reason why she associated this, or aligned it, I should say, with an after meal job is because then it would be looked at 3 times a day. So that is what we have implemented into our schedule as well. One kid a week does the laundry for their after meal job. So the laundry is getting switched and ran every day, sometimes twice a day. It is going into baskets, clean and sometimes folded, and then it goes up to the room that it belongs to. Once it is in that person's room, like you can see here, that person is responsible for putting their own clothes away. My sweet 2-year-old has not perfected this yet, and so her older sister helps her. Samuel is sleeping in our closet, and we have turned it into a little nursery. We have a video on that. If you have more questions, I'll try to link it below. And so I am in charge of putting his stuff away, my stuff away, and my husband's clothes away. Since we're on track with being productive for quiet time instead of resting, I decided to work on our family calendar. It is, after all, almost January. So I have 2 rotating whiteboard calendars where I will keep whatever month we're on to finish up while working on the next month's calendar. I also have a paper calendar where I write everything down for the months ahead, and then I record it or transcribe it from my paper calendar onto this whiteboard calendar that the family is able to see and to know what is coming and what is to be expected for that month. The things on this calendar are quite simple, more like bullet point format, and more detail oriented in my paper journal. I keep eyeballing those electric wall calendars, those smart ones that hang on your wall and show everything that you have to do for the day, color-coded, along with the chore chart. They look pretty nifty, and maybe one day, but for now, these paper and pen calendars work just fine. Little Samuel is quite my buddy, and I am here in his closet nursery changing his diaper and clothes. I am grateful for a place to lay him down to keep him safe as I change him, and to have all of his things on the floor level of our house since it is a 2-story house. I do also appreciate on days that our schedule is a little more free, we get a little bit more snuggle time, me and him. All right, so after quiet time, I am sending all the kids outside for some outside play. I find it very important that each day the kids get outside and enjoy the fresh air and God's creation. Sometimes it's hard because of the weather, but most of the time it works just fine. They find something to do. Sometimes, even if they just want a good book to read, I will say that's fine as long as you do it outside. They are outside quite frequently with all of our animal chores, but I want to make sure that they also have time for freedom, imagination, playing, and togetherness. And I find that the creativity and those ideas come together quite nicely when they have enough time outside to actually make a difference. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it's a struggle to get them to go outside or desire to go outside. I will tell them it's only for a short amount of time, and then they just seem to lose track of the time and find something to do together. It's so fun to see them, hear their laughter, and have them celebrate being outside together. While they're outside, I spent some time inside catching up on some reading by the fire. It was perfect timing because Samuel was still sleeping and Gwendolyn too, so the house was quiet, and it was nice to just reflect on the day so far, on the books that I'm reading, while hearing the laughter going on outside. I told you if I leave them outside long enough, they will get creative. Well, let's see what they need this carrot for. Yep, you guessed it, a snowman. I love these kids. So creative, great ideas, and just seeing it come to life just brings a smile to my face. They wanted to make a big snowman so that they can show Daddy on his way home from work. Well, after some outdoor playtime, they came inside to play as well. And fear not, the creativity still continues. And yes, the messes too. But that's all right, because we will find time to take a few minutes to clean again. Legos is definitely these boys' favorite pastime currently. And for the most part, they do a good job keeping them together. We are thankful for this little contraption we found on Amazon, which allows them to search for pieces without it being all over their room. We got to wake up our little 2-year-old from her nap and get ready. Dad's on his way home from the hospital. My husband is a nurse. Normally he works from home, but he also does per diem work at the local hospital. And today that is where he was from 9 to 2. He worked his other job early in the morning and will do a few hours later today. So we're excited to see him. Daddy's home! Yay! All right, so now our snuggles continue. Before I get ready, I do a podcast with my dear friend Ashley called Joyful Homemaking. We talk about all things homemaking, and I am getting ready to meet with her on a quick phone call. Today's topic of conversation is praying for your husbands, and we are really excited to be able to encourage other wives out there to do the same. And even though it has been a very restful and relaxing day, we are already at dinner time. Doesn't it feel like the day just flies by? Today we're doing a really easy dinner. We're having rice bowls. I'm making some rice in the rice cooker, lots of steamed broccoli, and then we took a pork roast and chopped it up and put it with soy sauce to marinate, and then we'll put a Hawaiian sauce on the table for those that choose. We're going to just fry this meat right up, and then dinner will be hot and ready. Thank you so much for following along today on a day in the life of our family. I hope and pray that you've been encouraged, gleaned some ideas from our day, and remembered that God loves you and God loves your family. Until next time, see ya.